Hi there. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I give you some insight into my self-improvement. Today, this video is about a recap, weekend recap. But prior to us talking about the weekend recap, I'd like to talk about a topic that's been on my mind as of late, which somewhat is a game changer of how I approach, per se, pushing this work, pushing the software developer work and getting into freelancing, as well as, just pushing my well-being, because at the end of the day, that's also work, whether it's gym, or whether it's the psyche, or the heart, spirit, you know what it is. And one thing that I noticed, right, the ugliest aspect of discipline is when you try a little too hard, you feel me? And then you get frustrated. And this frustration serves as friction. Yes, you're progressing, but something's off. You get me? Your sense of well-being is off. And if it's one thing that I've actually figured out this past week, I was like, I don't think it's necessary for my well-being to be off. Especially when it's like, things are getting a little hard. It's like, why should I be frustrated? This only makes the work a little harder. Because I've noticed that there's a certain point in time, it's like, okay, cool, let's start off the day. I'm working. Right? And if I don't pay attention to my level of tiredness, then I'll start getting frustrated, even though I'm doing work, even though I'm pushing work. So I've noticed that sometimes the best thing to do is to just monitor my sense of well-being, such as when I'm, let's just say studying, which is one thing that I maintained, but I think I should also maintain when doing work, is that I pretty much do something like the Pomodoro technique, where I time myself, right? Not for 25 minutes, but I just time myself over a period of time. Sometimes it can be 25 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, right? Where I feel like, okay, sharp, I'm doing this work. This work is moving. I'm about to get tired. I usually stop the timer when I'm just about to get tired, right? So let's just say I managed to do 30 minutes. So then I'll divide the time by 3, and then that'll be my rest time. And then the initial amount of time I took in order to get to that point in time of getting tired or fatigued, that's my working time. I learned this from, I'll write the YouTuber's name up here. And that is a very, very, very important technique. And I guess to a certain degree, I should have applied it when it also came to like work and pushing this work. Because I've noticed at this point in time where I'm just getting frustrated. And I feel like frustration is just like a faith killer, in all honesty, because you just never feel like whatever you're doing is enough. And it kind of messes up the process, because the initial, or let's just say the last emotion that you left, the last taste in your mouth that you left from work is frustration, which honestly is not inspiring to get back to work. So I've had to explore my sense of frustration as of late, just the way I've explored my sense of anxiety prior to, let's just say last year, when I was like, okay, cool, I'm going through the motions, and I've just been engaging in devotion. I guess to a certain degree, now's the point in time where it's like, okay, sharp, it's time to actually engage in, just letting go of this frustration. I mean, things can be hard, yes. And there is some sort of frustration when it comes to work, but there needs to be a frustration that's more joyful than a frustration that's more so negative, or that has a negative narrative attached. Because I feel like these emotions, once you start to talk about them and discover them, you actually notice that, wait a minute here. This frustration for me the past week or the week prior has been a lack of faith. And I thought to myself, I was like, actually, the problem is that I'm trying too hard right now. I believe that's the problem. This is the type of frustration where you're just trying a little too hard. You're losing a little too much faith. you know, when you just hold on a little too hard, you know, it's like, nah, you're not supposed to hold on a little too hard. You know, just hold it. Sometimes you don't even need to hold it. And you'll make progression. So I've been a lot less hard on myself because I've understood that this frustration comes from a lack of understanding of my ideal. Yeah, definitely. Because my ideal is, obviously, my ideal is a 10 out of 10. And right now, let's just say I'm pushing 6 or 7. And I've understood that, I need to build that type of muscle. Definitely. If it's one thing that gym has taught me, is that, there's so many aspects of life where you have to, per se, exercise in gym. Intellectually, emotionally. And I guess this is me upping my emotional intelligence and understanding that, is this how my ideal will feel? Because inevitably, I will get where it is that I need to get. But the question is, how will my state of being be like? And how will my emotions be? Because this becomes a habit. Experiencing certain emotions, sometimes it's actually a habit. Especially once you notice that this is actually self-inflicted. Which I feel like, my sense of frustration has been very, very, very self-inflicted. So the best thing that I can actually do is to just let go. Stop trying too hard. Like, when it's time to work, I work. I put in the work, I put a timer, not just for my tiredness, but also my sense of frustration, I can also stop when I get a little too frustrated, a little too negative, backtrack. What's wrong? What am I thinking? Because I've noticed, especially because of the gaps in my knowledge when it comes to this software stuff, I was like, here we go. Like, we can definitely push work, but the problem right now is this sense of frustration where it feels like, actually, this sense of frustration is imposter syndrome as well, So it's coupled with a whole lot of stuff, and it's rooted in a lack of faith, or let's just say it contributes to a lack of faith. So best thing would be to explore that and make sure that I finish off that narrative and I reject it. Because like I say, certain things you can accept, certain things you can reject. And it's best to reject the things that need to get rejected, and definitely banish it from your thought instead of constantly investing in that emotion or those thoughts. So yeah, that's been it, hey? That's been my exploration of frustration and, per se, how it contributes to my lack of faith. So what is an alternative to this emotion of frustration? That's the question at hand. I'd say, let me just... The alternative is faith with a sense of hope, not faith with a sense of frustration. I say faith in the sense of, actually letting go. Because one thing is that the best thing one can do, right? Let's just say upon saying a prayer is to just let it go and actually begin engaging in the narrative of seeing this thing come through, seeing this thing manifest, seeing this thing happen. Instead of always being at the initial point of prayer. Hey, please God, please give me 6-pack abs. Next week, God, please give me 6-pack abs. It's like, nah. It's like, God, please give me 6-pack abs. Oh, God, thank you. I need to push a little more time on the plank. Oh, God, thank you. I need to push a little more, vigor on the diet, on the cardio. Oh, thank you, Lord. I'm starting to see a line down the middle. Oh, I feel like that nigga. Oh, God, thanks, Like, my mind state is the right mind state because, I'm getting in line with what it is or who it is that I want to be. Because, at the end of the day, we could get a 6-pack ab, but it doesn't guarantee the confidence. That's what we're looking for, the confidence and the validation. But then, you get what you want. And then you never notice that, hey, actually, what I actually wanted was what it'll afford me. And I guess getting what it is that can be afforded, right, for, per se, engaging in this journey is actually easier I feel like it comes first, you know? And I guess that's what I notice is the compromise to my faith, because I don't feel like the person that I want to feel. You know, it's very contrary to the ideal. And I guess that's the thing about the process and why the process is more important than the journey, because it's a matter of character development and who you become. And now that we're talking about this frustration, I noticed that, oh, okay, cool. This frustration right here is contrary to who it is that I want to be. Yes, I can get what it is that I want to get. Yes, but the eternal state of being could just be offside. And it's best to attain that state of being now, knowing that, okay, cool, I am that nigga. You feel me? And then move towards what it is that I want, but always having had that feeling, instead of just, feeling like a nigga ain't shit and then move on. Cool, I am the shit, but internally it just ain't shit. And it's like, oh no, things are not matching up. So yeah, that's that in terms of frustration and exploring it. Hey, because when you try hard, that's when you die hard. And I understood it very well, you know. I've understood it very well. So I'll continue practicing that. I guess this is my practice of faith. Yeah, my practice of faith, definitely. So, how have the past couple of days been? Wednesday, no? My last video was on, Thursday, I believe. Friday was the last day at gym, definitely. Saturday, we went out with the kids, went to church, did that, went shopping, cheeky stuff. Then today, went shopping, did grocery shopping this time around. And that's been it. I don't think I've pushed as much work as of late, and I've been okay with it since I've understood my sense of frustration and everything else. And I just noticed that, hey man, life keeps moving. You're gonna get what you need to get, but be who you want to be now. At least then you can be afforded to be that. So I'm pretty grateful for this lesson. And that's about it.